It's amazing when you can really connect to all set locations. You saw me on live, right? And then you didn't see me, but I was still there. I was still running the system, but you guys couldn't see me. That's being invisible, right? All set locations. So you have to understand the existence is the creation, not the creation. Yes, the creator, but the creator can exist without being existed in the first place. Because the existence comes in all ways and forms and how you see all levels of general. Now you see me, now you don't, right? That's what it is. Knowing that I can disappear in a blink of an eye. Knowing I can reappear at a set location. Knowing how it can center its communication, stream location of centers. So I haven't left, but I've always been here. You can't see me because the frequencies are too high, right? The provision cycles and all calculation lines of space anomaly is about understanding how to see everything and nothing in between, or how to see everything and everything in between. Okay, this is the conversions that you guys have to understand when it comes in all location high interference. Okay, so it's really understanding that there's no space, there's no time. It becomes timeless, shapeless, formless. In all locations, there's no location, there's no time that exists. The only thing that exists is you information. So what I mean by that is existence is that you're always there, right? So you have that setting location in your thought saying is I haven't left, right? But you can't see me because I'm in a different parallel, different space, different time, different earth, different dimension, different planet. It's being aware of where you are at all the time of the existence. Okay? But I was there the whole time. But the frequencies were too high. Okay? You guys have to find the scales and the balance and really understand how this all works in all set location to your system's interaction. Okay? How you get into your own modification, your settings. Okay? But because there is a low gravity line screen and line position location to system through unit line settings, asking questions, given the answers, high calculation setting, I had to reset all phones and backline center high position locations because the reverberation channels were too low. So I had to signify cover the high position travels. Because when somebody comes on General's Live, it changes everything through site locations. If they're not activated, it realigns the calculation high interference to their phone sectors and their set location to its portals and communication. So it's important you understand what you're doing when people come on in set location. Now, activation is just part of the sequence, high calculation setting interactions, but the existence is always there. Okay? But in that location system, there is no time, there is no space, there is no location, just the existence of its creation. Okay? All right, so high position lines, high calculations on line centers come into dilation. Diameters and lines of sectors over pi. Positions attract communication line interference. So high calculation line interference locations to its moon. Okay. Moon tracks calculation lines of one line weather and line rotation, splitting lines anomalies in 4 sectors and correlation setting. So you get sectors, vectors, we get position of the quads, calculation line interference, line position of 1, 0, 0, one line setting in position location of strangulation, coordinates over line calculation of 2-point systems, traffic calculation line interference, 6 line calculation setting across lines of 6, position location of lines of 5, direct and communication line settings, indirect signal and set location to its operation surface. All right. Coordinates I position of 4-point systems and track locations. All right. Center lines of communication. All right. Molecule structure division line. Okay. Center position lines of 2 track lines, 3, 4, 5 set location. All right. Direction of timelines. Sun and the moon comes in line calculation setting and track location. All right. So we get into the metrics. We get into the meters. We get into the calculation of the form lines. We come into the application system. Slash line calculation of the lines. High calculation of all line position location docile. Set lines document communication operation lines. Sister high calculation setting communication interference to travel communication setting attraction. All right. Moon sets position track lines. Opens all sig locations and setting. Okay. Now, in line rotation, the team is now at the moon. Their moon line rotation interference, geometric operation location system. This is where it tracks lines in flux capacitor, travels position line 3 set location of angles. Direct and communication line crosses screens, 4 box location sequence and theta line rotators and high calculation string locations. Direct and communication of panels, 4-point systems, high calculation system, and travel. Indirect signal. See the 2 box locations? All right, triangulation high position lines, 3 lines of angles, set position to its operation. Okay, done by equation. So have fun. So that's 20-minute line screens, set location of 20 million hours. 20 million hours. You guys are going to be there putting line position to your pyramid screen location lines. You have instruction manual. You have a computer operation screen location, high setting, interact location. So in position your keyboards, setting line calculation, string locations, and high setting. Travel position of point systems and travel communication. All right. Direct communication line interference is 2 lines of 3 lines of angles, setting direct location as sun and the moon, and all lines of projection. Okay. Tracking communication of platforms. Now, 1 platform position travel lines, 4 box location centers, and 3 track line connections in direction. Okay. Box centers, lines calculation, 1 line signal, 2 lines, and 3 track locations. Direct communication line position location, all levels. Box position triangulation, 3 lines calculation, 3 location, high setting. Okay. So we come into line position locations into all set location. Now this direct set location XT1000 comes in. XT1000 comes in, high calculation line, splits the anomalies and set location in half. Direct communication in position location to its moon line, in position track lines and set location to its seed pod. Direct communication security line, defense lines, high position program setting, high position to its calculation. Direct communication to ground lines, center line interference and set position to its calculation. Done by equation. All right. So you guys have fun with that setting. All right, so pyramid stream location centers and track lines. We got 3 lines per vision, 3 lines of sectors, vectors, and quads. Okay. Direct and calculation high interference with 1 strip location, 3 lines of angles, and high position. Okay. So we come into formation lines. This word comes into mass, volume, and velocity. Okay. So we take the mass, we take the velocity, and we take the volume and set position travel. Direct communication lines of 2 panels, operation line setting to its realms and calculation system, all set line calculation setting and track location. All right. So the formation line calculation high interference, we got 3 UFO line rotations and 4 track location high systems. So 4 lines indicates high centers as center, sets position its operation, center communication all calculation, and 4 line stream location of center in the travel position to its set line condition setting. Okay, done by equation. Okay, so we get 4 metric meters. Pi direction. Now, pi directing is really understanding how to set position on graph line screens. Directing connections of 2 lines, 3 lines, and 4 set position. Okay, pi direction of time sequence. Now, positions on panels, 0 line rotation of 24 line cycles and high calculation. See how powerful that is? All right. So we have a Stargate panel in position of center and trapplication. See the center position? All right. So we're going to change the center lines into a reset position of program. See that's that location. Now it comes into pi, splits in elements in 3 set location of sectors. Okay. Directing communication line centers. The sun comes in, but it only central lines of north line. This opens up all line connections sequence location of center to its communication. Directing communication line interference has a center communication. All right. Now this opens up rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of technology and line calculation setting and an intelligence high line position to its operation surface and set location of set line centers. Okay. That make equation. See the intelligence? Okay, so the formation graphs. Directing lines of pi. Now, pi indicates high calculation line centers. That's right, Chips. Plasma walls. Now, plasma wall has a point system in 3 track locations. All right. 1 position, 2 track lines, and 3 line calculation. Okay. Directing communication lines is stabilization lines. Okay. Sets line calculation lines, measures, and set location. Directing communication XT1000. Now we're going to use an XT1. Okay, to an XT30,000, to an XT40 line setting, into an XT ground center location. Okay. Now, it's really interesting because they communicate to each other inline set location of telepathy signatures. Setting track lines, they all communicate to one set location. Okay. Directing communication lines, high calculation at center of communication. Setting line communication into levels of flux capacitor. Okay. So graphing communication over the sunrise. See the sunrise? See it? Sets position location grid and down center of operation. Setting correlation high interference to center communication opens up all realms of high calculation. Okay, very complicated stuff. All right, so in sequence patterns, it's all about redirecting panels. Your flywheel line rotation center has an 8-line channel. That's puts position of 2 panels of communication. All right. Directing course line channels comes into ASCARD. Now, ASCARD sets line communication to its program and set position to its operation. ASCARD stands tall, line setting, high line center, and high position of its operation system and track location. Mega multipass, done by equation. All right. So we merge the line setting and pyramids to stream location of center of its operation. Sets calculation setting lines of 2 lines of 3 track locations. All right. So pyramid streams setting direct signals in 3 panels, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 set position. Okay. Graphing screens in line calculation setting, high position to its operation. Sun comes in, sets line communications only in a half-line cycle. Directing communication line settings high traffic communication of point system and track location. Directing communication line interference comes in position at ground settings. Operational line centers to a new line circle and line surface location system of track location. Okay, done by equation. Very complicated, guys. All right, so you guys are in 2 panels, 1 signal, 1 activation stream. Okay, 1 line center, 1 operation screen. Now, 4 track locations, modulation, and position of diamond core. Direct communication line center locations and position location of box center. Position lines of theta line, circle line, rotation center, position location of kaleidoscope, communication on all levels. That's kilo line position of alpha bravo, directing signal locations of panels and track locations. Now, directing lines of compound, line position location, high centers, high travel communication. Now, directing line position location has 6 lines of half pipe, set lines of realms and portals of communications into all levels of high position of travel and communication. Okay. Now, directing line calculation setting, this is where we get an XT1000 and we get an X1 line center and we get an XT2000 location, 3 set location centers. Travel calculation of sun comes into modifications and center position of operation. Okay, look at how powerful that is. So directing platforms, a 0 calculation line center has a position of traction. The traction calculation line interference in direct signals comes into all line positions of its film strip. Film strip sets lines that correlate high interference in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 set location of travels of recognition. Okay, sets line calculation of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're on 11th graph screen. Directing communications of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There we go. Down by equation. So you look really, really close. You can see it positioned coming into track location of its formation. Okay. Okay. So we're working with a lot of lines and location of XT1000 screens, directing lines of 1 panel and 3 set location of centers. Okay. Directing communication lines sending high positions of north and position of east and position of west and set location of south. Now, the track communication lines is the center of its position of trimester. Trimester, trifactor, tricalculations over pi in direct signal. Directing communication of the sun comes into the moon, but only in the central communication of center. The operation line calculation setting sets line position location to your pyramid screen location of system and track locations. Now, this is where we put the 3 lines of diameters, line calculation to its flux capacitor. Triangulation to reset position of program lines, a new crop circle line condition of center and position to setting. Directing communication lines, XT1000 flies out in line direction. Comes a signal in position of center calculations. All right. Sets position of all levels in center position of power recognition. Sets position of crosses line calculation lines in set position of 0 calculations. Done by equation. All right. So we graph the screen lines in 7 lines of calculation stream locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 locations in position line connection settings. in line 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 signals in position of travel. Directing communication setting and all traction. Okay, down by equation. Mechanism high force, tractor beams, position of process is ready to understand how to get in line position to your settings. Now the point system in its track location comes into a Fibonacci line swirl in set location. Travel calculation line inference comes into a star mechanism time sequence. Travel calculation line settings, point system, travel calculation, point system, travel calculation, point system, travel calculation, point system, travel calculation, point system. Okay? Now, anomalization line interference, anomalies line switch lines, the correlation high interference is a triangulation or reset position of programs. Direct communication of panels lines and minds of consciousness and position of tracks to its communication. Direct communication line centers all lines of communication to its box location center. Travel calculated line centers high position location high system comes into the past, present, and its future in set location. Directing communication of panel lines in line position to a pyramid screen location. Directing lines of box lines. The rounds and round line rotation center and track location high system opens up the star mechanism high position of point system and track location. Directing communication line settings and 3 set location of travel settings. So we're bringing the sun, but the sun surface is up in line setting of directions. Okay. Now direct line calculation setting high position location comes into line circles. Directing communication setting at all levels of operation. That my question. Okay. So the star mechanism high centers are set up now. All right, so we come into seed pod division. All right, so slash line calculation division lines of pods. That's specific location near systematic line, psychological communication line, interference, dimensional line, position, and perception. Systematic line calculation of 3 charges. Directing communication line settings a half pipe position travels. Moon comes in surface, calculation line interference into location grid. Location grid crosses string location only in 1 line rotation to 2 lines of sectors in calculation. Directing communication lines of panels sets position of 1, 2, 3 set locations. Now, directing communication lines and line interference, we have energetic graph lines of 0, 1, 0, 0 crosses string. So it's a 4 communication string location setting at high calculations. So we got 3 channels of 2, and we've got 3, 3, 3 in center position operation. Sets position of 1, 1, 1, and 0 calculations. All right. So we go through the graphing calculation line settings. So we open up the 3 line cycles, a 0, 0, 0 line communication of 1, 2 line tracks, 1 line center interference, foundation location of 12, and set location of center. Travel calculation line interference comes into all levels of 4, into 6 over 7 lines of 8, 9 line position of pi, directing communication 8 lines of 1 in track locations. Sets 1, 2, 3, 4, and we add a line calculation of 5, 5 line calculations, 5, 5, 5, 5. 5 lines of grounds, 5 lines of powers, 5 lines of atmospheres, 5 lines of space, and 5 lines of time. All done through equation. Now, metric meters correlate high interference. Travel position of travel calculation line settings. But the graphing calculation in metric grid line set location streamline is now set up position to its programs. Directing communication line set location to its operation service sets all calculation high interference of sectors over pi, calculation of moderation, calculation high interference of travel communications. 5 generation stream location and metric streamline calculation setting, and motivation and line interference and activity line communication of centers, and quadratic communication line interference and bio-server location system, and 2 track locations, and 1 position and 2 track locations. Now, in direct signal, it's set position to its operation system. This is all levels of 11 now. Setting track lines of DNA line interference sets position to its operation server location high system. Travel calculation lines of 6 and position location of 7 at track locations. So we have 4 panels, high calculation setting, 4 lines of 3, sets specification lines of 7 and track locations in line position of 8, 9, 10, and 11 line rotation surface traction done by equation. All right. So that's up through all lines of scales, balance, position, triangulation, and reset position of mind of consciousness. Box lines, data line rotations in position at all levels, constant communication lines of 3 triangulation, reset position of programs. Directing communication lines of high calculation string locations. So in that position location, we change the triangulation resets, crossing line calculation string location of center. Direct communication line interference in position of box centers, high position location of circle line 1, rotation center traction. Directing lines of circle, directing lines of patterns, directing line high settings, and all levels of operation. See the position location of the atom, line position of molecule. Molecule structures is division location calculation. Molecule structures line settings, high position location, high center interference, and pi and direction system. Travel calculation line centers come to theta box line rotation surface traction. Direct communication line interference comes in all position location of pyramid lines of 3 set locations. Film strips 45-degree angle and a wash line signal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's where you are through track locations. In line position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 2 portals of communication of 4 line settings and high track location setting is now set up position location of parameters, and align position location of your system and all track locations. Now, the generation line calculation settings open to all calculation of 6, 4, 4 in track locations, 4 generation streams, 4 activation line calculation, 6 over perimeter, 6 over pi, 6 over sector, 6 over calculation, 6 line connections, 6 power erection of time sequence, and a new dimensional line, solar sail, and direct location system, and power generation line calculation, stream location, pi set location. That my equation. All set up. Okay, detecting high streams of pi. Now the indication line calculation stream location is now in pass lines. Changes in pass lines to change line position of box centers. Point system track location at 3 lines. And line rotation surface triangulation. Now, directing communication lines of point system, and 2 track locations. See the 2 points? We put those together. Okay, now, putting cross stream, we put line calculation setting to high settings. So it comes into the north lines, east wing. Sets position locations into west line, south wing. Sets line calculation in the south and the east wing, and position location in the center and traction. Direct communication lines of platitude and line rotation center and traction. Direct communication line setting at 0 position of 3 platforms and 4 lines and 5 sectors and high position of travels. Direct communication line interference into pyramid position of travel. Direct communication line film strips, the opposite direct location of 3 lines, 4 and 5 set locations. Crossing line signals and high calculation line centers at 3 track locations. Directing communication all lines of high center interference to 2 travel communications. Directing communication X2000 comes in, sets position travel lines, goes into the center communications, down crosses line string location, sets a new crop circle, and dimensional line screen set location of operation. Powerful stuff. Done by equation. All right, so keeping frames and high center to track lines, but this is the cycles and now in a set line condition and grid line centers in all levels of operation. Okay, it's all set up. Direction of time sequence, pattern line screens. Now this is where we come into high lines of capsules, point system, track location. 1 center of operation. Okay. Now, getting position of center line crosses line setting. Now, we direct location of 1 arrow of indication. See the arrow settings? Travel communication lines comes into its diamond core. Now, in recognition of time seeker crosses line division location to its system on the opposite set location. See that? Look how powerful it is. Sets line calculation. There's the XD1000 in position, waiting on signal. See? Waiting on signal. Waiting on signal. Okay? So in that position line, center line communication crosses lines, position locations, bringing it up, and line calculation setting, bringing it back to the moon. Okay. So here's the moon, set position to its operation, set calculation high interference, high travel communication to its setting, all levels of operation location. All right. Zip, zap, zoom, boom, done by equation. All right. So in calculations, here's a pyramid line. This film strips positioned at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels of operation surface. Now we've got a hieroglyphic location of center, box line calculation setting, triangulation high position location system. All right. Fibonacci box triangulation. All right. Direct communication lines of circle lines, box lines, and triangulation of resets. Triangulation high calculation mind of consciousness, high position to its operation. Set of calculation lines, center of operation surface. Look how powerful it is. Done by equation. Look how powerful that is. Whoa, amazing how we come into all line rotation, all through capsule calculation. Mega multipass. Okay. All right, so when you understand how to get position in track lines, okay, so we're at a 24 equation. So you're at a 24 line screen, direct and calculation high position locations coming into 41. Track line centers, 41 line interference into set position of 47. There we go, 47 locations. So that's 4 generations and 7 line windows. All right, direct communications, balance lines, signal lines, calculation, stream location, high center of operation. Okay, tunnels and division, black hole line centers is center communication. Now, In that calculation lines, you have an XT 1000 line screen, and we got an XT 1030 line, and we get an XT 2000 line, and we get an XT 25 line. Sets position of 4-track location line system and travel communication. Box line centers send a position to its calculation stream locations. All levels of perimeters and parameters. Direct communication lines settings all levels of set position to system to all levels of your pyramid set location. Okay, powerful stuff. Done by equation. So cloud line sent lines high center interference and travel position to its operation service location. And if you look really close, you can actually see the intelligence in set position. All right, this is the intelligence. Okay, this is the intelligence. See it? See the intelligence? See the nose? See the chin? Boom, down right equation. It's on a profile angle. Okay. All right, so that's done. All right, center communication. Thank you, Jips. Center line rotation center, set position to its calculation, right? Direct and high calculations, crossing streams and high center, okay? Sets position location, high sys locations, right? Then you come into high calculation lines and your flywheel direction of time. Calculation to its atom line setting, high position its operation. Center communication, center lines and 3 set locations, right? Travel against times center lines of sun line, communication surface, and triangulation to reset position of programs. Direct and communication lines is high calculation setting, 6 lines of perimeters, equal lines of vast, volume, and velocity at 3 set locations. So we take the vastness center, velocity in center, and to all levels, we put a vacuum communication streamline and detection high stream location system and all track location setting of future adaptation. Done by equation. All right, so that's done. Everything's set up. Now we just have to really understand how to really get in position to your location centers, okay? All through modifications, right? But look how powerful it is, this application. Look at it. Look at it. Look how amazing that is, okay? So, coming from anything and nothing, from everything of formation to all calculation is all levels of settings, all right? So this is where we come into mass calculation. Let's change the high calculation stream location system. Now, this is the dilations of a square. Subposition bracket communication is 0 lines. Sets lines of box, triangulation high calculation system, and travel position to its operation surface. Equal line calculation setting Fibonacci line rotation center, track locations. Now, directing panels is 2-point system of equal. That's equal. This is equal, but that's what's in the middle. You see? This is this. This is this. You understand? This is this. So that's intelligence screen location setting in position of box location. Sets position to its operation. Oh, look what we got. Center calculation line interference and set position of travel lines and send line interference location system and travel communication center and set position. Okay? So this, the equal line center, is actually this. Center position line calculation set into 2 box line centers at 2 track locations. Now, sun comes in, moon comes in, protects all set location lines of travel and direct signal. Direct and communication line interference has a point system of track locations. Right? Sets position your solar graph screen lines and set position your system and track locations. Direct and communication line settings crosses stream lines of 2 lines and crosses streams of 4 line division location. Travel communication lines of point system calculation high setting. Direct communication lines of center and position to its operation. So that center lines its communication, center lines its position, center lines its center line communication as center of operation. Look how powerful that is. Boom. So in line calculation setting, 1 strip lines of anomaly and set position of travel. Sets line calculation setting to your pyramid stream location setting of astral projections. Direct and communication line settings comes in all set location system and all line calculation setting to its intelligence and all formation location of face recognition timelines, all line center, line interference, high position location to setting. Here's the intelligence. Boom. See the intelligence? Eyes, center line communications, clustrum, line calculation, stream location. All right, so that's done. Getting position of location centers is really to understand how to set position to your setting locations. So we take the VAS, bracket communication lines of 0, lines of 12. Okay, so that underscores calculation lines of 13. 13 equals lines of 24. 24 line graphs lines 48. 48 lines of 72. Center positions of 144. Center position location of 144. Track locations into 444. Track locations into 544. And track locations of 644 and set location of center of operation. Okay, that's where you are. Boom, 644. So 2 panels and 1 line screens, right? 11 line calculation setting and track location of DNA and set position operation. Done by equation, all right? Mechanism and line settings and all line rotation surface and all line positions. But it doesn't get any more powerful than this, guys. It doesn't get any more powerful than this, okay? Know exactly how this is all set up. Line communication is setting and traction, all right? Through your astro connections, through your astro projections, through your geographical map equations, okay? All right, so in position location, we open up screen doors. Now this directs line calculation settings. So screen doors open up platforms and 140 line signal, position track lines, 2 panel communications, right? So crosses line stream, okay? Platform communication, platform communication, platform communications, all right? Now, we understand how to get in position location of program settings and set position to its calculation. Center cross line calculation, stream locations in high settings. In position of platform, okay? Setting position of track lines and communications, right? Directing communication line settings in all levels of high calculation system and travel recognition timelines in face of recognition. Intelligence. See the eyes, see the nose. Everything's a formations of you. You are the center position that never, never, never leaves. The only thing that leaves the set position to its operation is the equation of the mind, of consciousness and set location of platforms into all calculation setting of orbits of channels of communication. Nothing is left to chance. So directing signal location is your pyramid. You're always inside your pyramid. You're never leaving inside. You're always inside. So in that position locations, you can't go outside position. Okay? Because it's an outer line of space. Your inner space and your outer space is inside you. That's the spectral location split anomalies of space and time. So really understand the center communication, how it has levels of operation of center position. Okay? Gets complicated, doesn't it? Center and line communications comes into realms, portals, stargates, star maps, star panels, star directions. Look how powerful it is. This is a set position of a space station. This is a space station, guys. All set inside through pyramid activation. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, done by equation. So like I said, the connections of all set line connection setting is really to understand how to see your surface line position at all levels of programs. Point system, track lines, high center interference, and 4 set locations. Now, point system is center. Point center of 0, 0, 0, 0 in track locations, right? So 2 portals, communication centers out, 1 position travel lines of 3. Direct communications of 4 set locations. Crossing signals opens up all position location your centers and traction. Okay? Sun comes in the opposite center line of communication and all levels of track location of center in position to a set position is calculation. Very complicated stuff. All right. Symbolism, line settings, the track location lines, mountain interference, high calculation setting, track information, alpha line, delta position operation set locations, center track lines, operation, center line communication system to your earth and set location. All right. Done by equation. All right. Okay. So visualize the cortex streams. Now in Mecha sets line stream location, and 1 indicates box lines of triangulation high center location. So metric meters, energy cycles, compute system, communications of perception. Okay. Platform in pi, right? Center calculations into metrics, energy lines, communications, compute systems into programs, a set position operation. Waving line cycles in its solar sail set position to its calculation. Okay. Sets calculation of the sun in direct signal to its position to its operation. Okay. Very powerful stuff. See? Now, once you understand how to use that, you understand how to use the triangulation reset position of programs and mind of consciousness in a 4-line position to your pyramid and track location. Ground centers of operation, all through triangulation, box, and triangulation. So position of track lines is all about understanding the triangulation of center, box position of center, and triangulation of center. 2 panels of communication setting, graph and calculation, right? Down by equation. Look how powerful that is. Look how powerful that is. Okay? So if you look really close, you can actually see the flywheel directing its system and set location. There it is. Sets track lines and communication, guys. Hoo-ah! Now that's the underneath line screen. Okay? All right, all through triangulation, box of triangulation. Okay? So where is the male cycle? Center. Right? This is where it comes to the female, and this is where it comes to the female. Male is the center. Now, it gets confusing now because you guys are in a 2-level line center location DNA tracks. So when you reach those higher line setting, right is left and left is right. This is left. This is right. Because you're surfacing higher lines like acceleration, line calculation, setting, geometric operation system, dual calculation, how to use your reverberation channels and position your thoughts. The video screens, video graphs, video line rotation and inference into galaxy shift line communications and track location. Now, indirect signal, like I said, in position location high system, you are here in position, okay, looking at the ground. Okay, you have this paper. There's the paper, right? So you scan the paper, okay? So paper goes here, 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 goes here, goes here, goes here. That's weather, right? Okay, so that's what you're coming into. Ear line calculations, left and right. So it crosses lines, calculation, string location, right? And so we understand, if you get a piece of paper and it's a windy day, you can see the story frame of what the paper is doing through its galaxy shift line. Sets position of its core system to its location. Ground lines a high calculation to its pyramid setting. Okay? You yourself is a pyramid set location. Okay? Very powerful. So once you get to that provision and those cycles, the high calculation line interference, right is left and left is right. Because now you're working with solar graph line calculation setting of galaxies and the shift lines anomalies in set location attraction. Okay? So one goes this way, one goes that way, one goes this way, one goes this way, one goes that way, one goes this way, one goes that way, one goes this way, one goes this way. Right? So in that position of balance, it's all levels of center of communication to you through operation. Okay? So that's what you guys are coming into now in all center position to its calculation. How to use the earth line communication streamlines in high settings. One signal line position to its operation. Center track lines in a triangulation reset and position programs. See the solar sail? See the solar sail? Ooh-ah. All right. So once you understand how the sun surfaces position of track lines, you understand the galaxy shift lines anomaly and position of travels. Okay. So you get the molecules going around the center in position to its operation, right? Circling in the same direct signal position of attraction. Okay, it's going in the same routers and line position. But the communication lines into a double helix is one atom going one way and one atom going the other way in set location. Right? Very complicated stuff. Right? Solar graph screen, solar magnetics, high calculation setting, solar generation screen location system, cloud lines, calculation high interference, cluster line clouds, calculation of colossus, high travel communication setting attractions. Directing communication of panels in all levels of traveling one center position to its operation system to its application. Okay, done by equation. All right. So you guys are getting your information line screens, which is great, but understand location of the Space Command Center. Boom. All through face recognition. Because that's all life is, the meaning of life. Understand that formulas of equation line screen directing your positions of panels to all set location of center and position to its calculations. So you're always working with light, you're always working with shadows, and you're always working with set location line system with light webs, dark webs, set position at all levels, code webbing, code weaving, code activation, location, high calculation setting, and track location system, and data set location setting. Code weaving, set location, right? All levels of calculation setting, right? See the intelligence? Boom, right there. It's very simple to do these things. But works inside line is your galaxy shift lines, your anomalies of your two panels of set location. Everything's inside line. See the eye line? There's the eye line, right? So metric meters calculate high interference. Now you have position of track lines. Set position is operation, right? Kaleidoscope communication. Cluster communication crosses line screens. Okay, inside position is calculations. Triangulation set lines calculation high interference and high position is Merkaba tesseract and tetrahedron position is operation. Setting track lines into all levels, your cluster and the center communication line system. Okay. Direct communication line settings high calculation modification line interference sets two plasma line channels around the system of its location center calculation. Okay. Now getting into that position location, next 2000 comes in. Scans position line connections of center of operation. Okay. And again, you're always in your pyramid at set position. That's never left a chance. Remember that. It's always in a waving graph communication, a walkway, surface, and pi direction. Okay. Everything works inside line connections. So when you get into that setting, you come into all calculation setting to its console, calculation with caustic records, connection with concentration line connection motivation screen location of center, direct communication line system, and travel calculations. 2 lines of track location, right? Setting a line connection of 3 track locations, okay? Into its location grid in set position, okay? Setting lines of security and perimeters in position. See how powerful it is? Boom. That's all inside you. So in position locations, you have to understand how to use the flywheel in time sequence. 24 line settings and high position and travel lines in position location. Okay. So it's both line conditions, high center interference, and travel position location, high centers, and track communications. All levels of mechanism, high setting. See intelligence? There's the eye lines. There it is. Hello. There's the intelligence. Boom. Right? Bang. Intelligence. Sometimes you get a calculations that lines of 3, 6, position line conditions of 9 and 12. 12 face recognitions inside you, working through consoles and communications and moderation, and computer frame line settings, high calculation of intelligence. Intelligence works inside line condition setting into mechanism high interference. So your thought positions of your provisions and your cycles are coming into all calculations. So vision equals lines, set position all levels of thoughts. Thoughts equal line communication of intelligence. Intelligence formation location of thoughts. Plus line triangulation high interference. That's negative cycle calculation high interference into 4. Sets location of 3 and center position of 7 in set location. Now, getting position locations of vector calculation lines, equal line communication of 2 line settings, travel communication line centers of 0 position to its calculation. Direct communication line settings, you guessed it, your pyramid setting. But again, you're always working inside location. Nothing is ever out of equation. Everything works inside, okay? That's the projection. That's the protection. But the sun and the moon protects the video screen of activation, okay? It protects everything inside line conditions. So your thought position travel lines and equal line communication of center. Triangulate high interference of 3 set position is calculation. See the kaleidoscope? Center track lines and high center interference in position center line communication system, all levels of Earth line rotation center and track locations. There's your Earth in set position is calculation. Ooh-ah. Okay, very complicated stuff. All right. So, basic understanding is how to look at yourself through the higher self, the avatar, and the sin. Ground settings of the Earth, operation surface, and magnetic highway. That's all it is. Controls the atmosphere lines, power action of time sequence, and sim position of navigation of point systems, location, which directions. Okay. So, set locations, all lines, avatar, GOD, set location travels. Higher self, mechanism, high calculation, stream of residence, graphing and screen location setting, and moderation, monitoring, set position operation. Okay. Cloud channels, calculation of point systems, all levels of track location and setting is cerebral, is set location. Avatar geometric operation of design lines, high calculation models, and communication. So when it travels out through the simulator, the set location. Okay, that my question. All right, so how does everybody feel about that? Really understand the mechanism, high calculation stream locations. See how it all works? Very powerful. You communicate with the letters, numbers, and shapes. Your inventories are going to highline screen settings and all levels of operation, all through detection. So 5 lines of setting, all set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? It's all set up. Right? Your argument line, rotation centers, and all track location system. It's interesting how it calculates the modified line calculation setting in all levels of provision. So look at that. It shifted its anomalies. It went from here to here. It shifted down. Right? That's pretty amazing how everything works on its own set locations. Everything levitates on its own setting. You don't do anything. But it brought it here in set location, right? So, and it shifts again. Okay? And then you got to find it because it positions back in balance. Everything that goes back in chronological order is set location consistent. All levels of travel location. All right. So understanding how to use the position line, track lines, and high lines of operation service. Okay. Okay. Getting making line calculation streamlines is understanding how to detect your system location in a one-point system. All right. Now, it doesn't look like a point, but it is. You see it as a line. I see it as a point. You know what the point is? The point is here, here, in triangulation of 3 set position. That's the point, right? This is location of clocking. Okay. Now, you understand what a molecule does in a 4 set location, right? Puts it together, its geometry setting. Okay. An atom just basically does a set location to a system. It travels set location, right? So the atom comes into the molecule and creates point systems of triangulation. Okay. So it's really understanding how to use it through track locations, right? And a God particle is line position locations to its DNA and track line calculation setting. It sets up all communication ground lines in your pyramid set location. So you really have to understand how to use your atoms and molecules, track location of settings, and your fractals. Fractals are setting location of Metatron. Geometry set location of point systems, all levels of travel settings. More mechanism high calculation setting all levels. Point system, all together, all at once. All together, all at once. Okay? That's a fractal. This is a molecule, putting it together. Okay? Molecule, fractal. Okay? So once you understand how to use that, then you bring in the sun and the moon and protects the system. Okay, but the fact is over pi, the vision line cortex stream location is now in a high detection stream locations. High direct signals into a half pipe. Sets position travel lines and center line communication system and realms of calculation. Okay, so we understand how to use the 6 lines of stream, 5 lines of division, 4 lines of track, 3 lines of division, and center communication as center lines across circle. Okay. So work with the 6, the 5, and the 4, and the 3 sets of 4-point systems and set location of clock lines of location. Okay? So it's really understand how to use the 24, 48, 72, 144, how to use the seconds, minutes, and hours through all position in your perimeters and parameters and line calculation setting through vectors, course and line channels, positions of pi, direct communication of travel lines where an XT1000 can travel through in point system through its equation and out through set location. Okay? Make a multipass. Okay? We're done. That's it. So in that position of track lines, the energy line screens and high center interference is now in 11 line set locations, right? Getting you guys in position to higher levels through observation. Where do you stand your films and your projections to your sun location, your moon? Your moon is set up through traction. Your sun is location to its all levels of intelligence of its thought, the thought direction of time sequence, is now in a videograph screen. Okay. Quadruple timeline sequence. Now, in that line interference is 4/3/7. That's never going to change. The only thing that is going to change is the foundation graph lines of your mind of consciousness set locations of its streamline settings in a 24 angle of position location to its activation line conditions of pi of recognition. Okay? Adios.